Hello, you're watching VNA News Bulletin. I'm Bang from Hanoi and other headlines as usual. Party chief chairs meeting on fight against corruption. Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia negotiate trade agreement. Homestay helps preserve Dung Lam Ancient Village. The Standing Board of the Central Steering Committee for Anti-Corruption convened a meeting in Hanoi on April 18th under the chair of its head, Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. Participants discussed the progress of handling especially serious cases and coordination mechanism between central and local investigation and prosecution units. Addressing the event, Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng asked relevant units to accelerate the progress of serious cases of public interest, including the cases at the Vietnam Construction Bank and the Ocean Bank involving violation of state regulations on economic management causing serious consequences, violation of lending regulations among credit organizations. The party leader also called for attention to new cases launched on the basis of new findings at trials of already detected corruption cases. He requested strengthening coordination mechanism between units concerned at the central and local levels when it comes to investigation, prosecution, and trial of corruption and economic crimes under the watch of the Committee and the Commission for Internal Affairs. Suggestions at the event will be collected and submitted to the board for consideration and approval. The fourth negotiation round on the Trade Promotion and Facilitation Agreement in the Cambodia-Laos-Vietnam Development Triangle area opened in Central Highlands, Dak Lak Province of Vietnam on April 18th. More the following report. Officials from the three countries are to focus on resolving remaining difficulties and obstacles to soon reach consensus on clauses and finalize the agreement on schedule as set by the senior leaders. The agreement is expected to boost trade activities and goods movement among 13 provinces in the triangle of the three countries. The deal will allow relevant localities to make full use of their potential and advantages, as well as promote economic cooperation and investment in the development triangle in particular and the three countries in general. These provinces are rich in natural resources and boast advantages for agricultural and forestry development. However, underdeveloped infrastructure has limited trade and development in the area. The fourth negotiation round will last to April 20th. The Vietnam Trade Office in Australia has reported that local agencies are finalizing procedures to allow the import of Vietnamese mangoes from this year. That is good news for Vietnamese farmers as well as enterprises trading in fruits. Now the office has implemented market research and connected with Australian partners to begin the export of Vietnamese mangoes to Australia soon after receiving the permit. In 2013, the Vietnamese Farmers Association in North Australia, with 100 Vietnamese farming households, built a distribution system of Vietnamese mangoes with popular brand names in the Australian market. The association pledges to support the import and distribution of Vietnamese mangoes in this market. Last year, after 12 years of waiting, Vietnam received the approval from the Australian Department of Agriculture to export lychees to the market. The government has approved a project on environmental sustainability in coastal cities funded by loans from the World Bank. The project is aimed at improving sanitation and quality of life for the residents of the cities by upgrading infrastructure and urban landscapes in line with increasing awareness of environmental protection. It will be implemented in 4 coastal cities including Phan Rang, Tháp Chàm in Ninh Thuận Province, Nha Trang in Khánh Hòa Province, Quy Nhơn in Bình Định Province, and Đồng Hới in Quảng Bình Province. The total costs were estimated at approximately $233.6 million, nearly 87% of which, or $237.5 million, will be sourced from World Bank soft loans. The constant development of the Internet is opening up ever more new opportunities for people and businesses. Yet, despite the achievements, it seems we are still coming up short when it comes to the protection of Internet users, especially minors.
Vietnam currently ranks 18th out of 20 countries with the highest number of Internet users, of which the rate of minors accessing the World Wide Web is rapidly increasing. However, over 60% of children only use the Internet for social and gaming purposes, with some becoming heavily reliant on social media.
I'm on Facebook about 10 hours per day. If I can't use Facebook for a day, I get restless.
Unfortunately, minors are unaware of the level of exposure the Internet has, resulting in many sharing their personal information, like home addresses, contact details, schools, creating numerous openings for predators to infiltrate their life. Moreover, a lot of teenagers are getting easy access to pornography and can be subjected to different forms of sexual harassment through the Internet. Preliminary statistics show that Vietnam records nearly 10,000 cases of sexual violation involving minors every year.
I'm usually on the Internet to research schoolwork, use Facebook, play video games. I sometimes notice websites with inappropriate content.
Technology is changing so fast. People are using their phones, the Internet, bandwidth is growing. There's a lot of things happening, and offenders are always a step ahead. They're using the dark web, the dark net, the P2P, and so on and so forth to get away from impunity. But we have to work with the private sector too. Why don't we have child protection policies in schools and in libraries and in public places where Internet can be accessed?
The draft law on child protection, care and education, currently being reviewed by the National Assembly, includes articles on state protection for children on the Internet and punishing cases of harassment of minors on the Internet. Also working towards establishing a legal corridor to protect minors, the Ministry of Labour, Invalids and Social Affairs is building a project titled Protecting Children on the Internet.
I would like to see the participation of IT agencies in applying technologies to protect our children. Moreover, the role of online service companies is also vital, as well as the involvement of the Ministry of Public Security in preventing and dealing with criminals who harass children on the Internet.
The project is expected to be approved by the government at the end of the year. However, aside from the government's intervention, much like in their day-to-day activities, parents are advised to equip their children with the necessary information and skills to protect themselves on the Internet.
The number of Russian holidaymakers coming to Vietnam rose by 13.5% to nearly 109,000 in the first quarter of 2016. We have more in the following report.
Statistics showed that Vietnam welcomed about 2.46 million foreign tourists during the reviewed period, a year-on-year increase of nearly 20%. Russia led European countries in the number of visitors to Vietnam, followed by the UK and France. Russian tour operators have seen increasing demand for tours to India, Thailand and Vietnam following restrictions on travel to Turkey and Egypt. About 130,000 Russian people holidayed in Vietnam last year. Nha Trang, Phú Quốc and Mũi Né are among popular destinations for Russians. Vietnam hopes to welcome at least 400,000 Russian visitors this year and about 1 million by 2020.
In recent years, tourists to Đường Lâm, the first ancient village recognized in Vietnam, have been offered a chance to experience the life in the Tonkin-style traditional village by spending the night in the village. Let's choose our reporter to see its homestay service. Situated in Sơn Tây town to the west of Hanoi, Đường Lâm ancient village is home to hundreds of houses made of wood and mud brick and built in the 17th century. These old houses have made Đường Lâm one of the city's most attractive tourist destinations. More and more travelers have decided to stay overnight at the village, right in one of the ancient houses. Among those, worthy of note is the house owned by Nguyễn Tiến Đạt. It is similar to the others, but actually it was built some years ago.
I bought this land lot 10 years ago. Luckily, I later acquired the frame of an ancient house nearby, so I decided to use the frame to build the house on my land.
This house has attracted a lot of tourists thanks to its convenience. Homestayers not only have a chance to experience the atmosphere of the real countryside, but can also try a host of interesting activities such as making chè lam or sweetened pancakes. If they want to do some physical activities, they can try one day working as a farmer on paddy fields. After a hard working day in the fields, visitors can enjoy music performances by local artists. As for Đạt, who has devoted great love for ancient houses, building an ancient house also manifests the responsibility to conserve the ancient values that go with it, which can easily fall into oblivion in the modern life. Unfortunately, an ever-growing population have forced many local households to expand their space of living, which is seriously threatening the village's traditional structure.
If a house owner understands the true value of his house, he will preserve it instead of demolishing it to build a new one. I have suggested the local administration improve the quality of rooms in ancient houses to provide accommodations for visitors so as to bring higher incomes to the villagers. The landscapes here are so beautiful and tranquil. Unlike downtown Hanoi, there is no skyscraper and not much traffic. I really like it.
Building an ancient-style house to offer homestay service like that is a good idea for other locals to make a living from tourism. More importantly, it helps the house owners take a high sense of responsibility in maintaining and preserving the traditional and precious values of Đường Lâm ancient village. And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us and goodbye for now.